What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and as always, I hope you are all still doing well out there, and of course, staying safe. Well, holy hell, today we've got a lot to talk about, and I wanted to speak to this Reddit leak that went live earlier today and discuss what these supposed changes could mean for the game, as well as how much faith we should actually put into this. But before we begin, in case you haven't yet done so, please smash that sub button for intensive Division content, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another upload notification from my channel. You can also really help out the channel by watching this entire video, rating and or sharing the video, and of course, leaving a comment. Alright, let's dive right in. So just being upfront and honest with you, I spend next to no time at all combing through Reddit or the Ubi forums looking for little hints or speculations about the future of this franchise, and I received a tweet about this one telling me that I needed to go over to Reddit and take a look at it. Unfortunately for me, by the time I did make it over to Reddit to take a look at the supposed Year 3 leaked information, it had been erased from the Division 2 forums by the original poster, not a mod, so that was my first indication that something was slightly amiss here. Anyways, you can still see the comments that were left about that leaked information, which I found somewhat revealing to the contents of the original post. Now, shortly thereafter, a condensed version actually hit the official Ubisoft forums, and I'm going to read through them for you now. Okay, so I've actually jumped now over to the Ubisoft forums. I'm going to read through this for you. And in case you want to read this on your own, I will leave a link to this post down in my video description. So anyway, here we go. It says, alleged leaks for a future expansion. Story content is first up. It says, similar to Warlords of New York, how we hunted down Keener and his rogue cell, we'll be hunting down Natalia Sokolova and a group of 5 or 4, number is tentative, elite Black Tusk kill squad, fancy word for lieutenants. It's going to take a similar approach as Wony and drop you into a New York City, not mentioned by leakers. So I guess it's going to be possibly another city location. I don't see us going back to New York to do this again. But anyway, mechanics, next section. This might be bittersweet for some, but yes, the level cap will be raised to 50. Something I speculated quite a few videos ago. I said if we were going to get new content, because we did have the optimization station with recalibration, all of our level 40 gear was going to be just min-maxed by the time any content arrived, so we were going to see a level cap. I speculated it. It's once again, I'm taking all of this with a grain of salt. This could all be clickbait. But anyway, according to this leak, we're going to see a level cap increase up to level 50. So the gear you have collected till now will be obsolete, much like what we saw in Wony. Apart from the exotics, as their blueprints will be dropped 1 week post-launch of the content. This new content will revamp the season's formula and add more events into the weekly track instead of repeating the similar event for 2 weeks. Events will overlap, however, to allow every player to participate until the end of the manhunt. These new seasons will have hunters as manhunt targets, with each giving a new backpack trophy and a mask. Why hunters? Won't spoil it for you guys. And there's a little emoji. Okay. The seasons will activate once the players are done with the main campaign of the DLC's story. Okay. Items and loot. Of course, there will be a plethora of new weapons. That is actually what it says. Will be a plethora of new weapons and minimum 10 exotics at launch. More to be added with upcoming updates. I guess if we were to see some sort of, major expansion, it would make sense that we would have new weapons and gear in there. Surprising addition, this is the next section, keeping every detail to a minimum, of course. Yeah, why not? As we got Summit as a replayable mode for the Wony, we'll be getting 2 modes for this new update, a survival-esque mode. That could be cool. And a PvP focused mode, best news so far, and another smiley emoji. Okay. Will it be free? Yeah, no. Like I said, yeah, no. You'll have to pay for this new DLC, but look on the bright side, at least we'll have much more content than last time. Well, that's exciting. And then disclaimer. I have forwarded these leaks as received and kept certain or some uncertain things to myself, raid, exact loot changes, etc., to avoid causing too much stir in the community. No, you weren't going to cause any stir in the community by posting any of this, were you? So might as well just put it all out there instead of just holding back the juiciest parts like a raid or loot changes. But anyway, I am neither an employee of Ubisoft nor do I claim these leaks to be 100% true. Ding, 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 ding. But anyway, but can I say one thing for sure? We're in for a wild ride for year 3 in Division 2. And another smiley face emoji. Okay, so let's just take a really quick time out here. Let's let the hype levels come down. Let's let the logic take over. Let's put on our thinking caps here, because this just looked like a huge laundry list of what agents have truly been asking for year 3. And once again, my doubts are coming out. My doubt level is coming up, because as I apply logic to this, this doesn't make any sense at all. And how we need to look at this, the context that we need to look at this, is what we saw year 2. So basically for the past year of this game, because we're approaching the 3rd anniversary of this game, for year 2 we got Wony, we had the Iron Horse Raid, and then real late in there we had the Summit. Now we also had the Seasons and the GEs and the Manhunt targets, but the bulk of our content was Wony starting off year 2. Then we got the Raid shortly thereafter, and then Summit, which I've talked about this in the past, feels like a tech demo to me. That was late in the year last year. So we haven't seen a lot of content. Plus, and I'm going to bring this up so I can read this, we got this tweet from the Division Games saying that some of you had noticed that Title Update 12 was originally meant to be the last major title update for the Division 2, but thanks to your continued support, we are now in the early stages of development for fresh content to release later in 2021. So let that sink in. Wony, Iron Horse Raid, late in the year we got this first replayable mode. I guess you can call it replayable for the Division 2, better known as the Summit. That was year 2. And then we got this, which, by the way, I think the wording in here, whoever wrote this really needs to learn how to read a room, because it was almost like it comes off condescending, even though it's not meant to be condescending. Some of you had noticed that Title Update 12 was originally meant to be the last major title update for the Division 2. That right there, all they had to do was post that little bit. So if we're to believe this, and then of course I've spoke about the investor call that Ubisoft just recently had for their quarter, no mention was made about the Division franchise 1 or 2 in that, and it actually took an investor questioning Yves Guillemot about the future of the Division when he blurted out, yeah, we've got content coming in 2021 and 2022, but nothing about it in the press release, although there was mentions of Just Dance and Brawlhalla and every other title that, you know, Ubisoft has put out there, but nothing about the Division. And then just days after that, we got, some of you had noticed that Title Update 12 was originally meant to be the last major title update for the Division 2. So if we take this, because this is in print form, this is coming from the official Division Twitter account, that was it. The Division was over. Title Update 12, Fei Lao, end of story. We're done. And then this comes out that they've got content planned for later in 2021. My gut tells me that it's not going to be everything that this leak just laid out. Maybe we've got this level cap increase coming, but we're talking about a whole nother Wony expansion. We're talking about 2 new modes, hunters as manhunt targets, a raid, things like that. And this is coming from a game that was riding off into the sunset, that was dead. So naturally, my next question becomes, who is working on this? Who is actually making the content for this? Was this content that was already produced and was just shelved because Ubisoft said, "The hell with it. We're out of making content for the Division. We're just moving on. We're cutting bait and running." Or is this fresh new content? And if so, if this is fresh new content, this could take a year to make. It could take a year and a half to make. How is it that this huge laundry list of things is coming after the game was, let's just call it what it was. It was, in Ubisoft's eyes, it was dead. They were pulling the plug on it, according to everything they were doing. And now we're moving on with this huge laundry list of survival-esque game mode and hunters and some sort of PvP thing and a raid and a whole new world and more manhunt targets and Sokolova. What? This screams to me clickbait. This screams to me clickbait. Now, stepping back as a fan of the franchise, if I just put on my fan goggles, hell yeah, I'd like to see all of this. But once I take those goggles off and I become just, you know, somebody that uses logic, that can step back and give it a 30,000 foot view, all of this just seems made up to me. It seems made up to me. Why would somebody at Ubisoft, why would somebody at Massive, why would somebody at, let's say there's another studio working on it, actually risk their employment pushing out this kind of information? Because they're all under strict NDAs. They're not allowed to comment on any of these things, because if they do, it could cost them their jobs. I'm sorry, my job is more important to me than letting people know what's going to be coming in 7 months, 10 months, a year from now. I don't understand what any of this has to do with going on right now. Why is it all just coming out like this? Unless it's just, like I said, quite possibly. I'm not accusing this person that leaked this or posted any of this information, but it's quite possibly just all like clickbait speculation. But, and here's the big but, there is really one way for us to really know this definitive answer. And of course, you know what I'm going to say. State of the game needs to come back. They need to confirm as much as they can what is coming, and they need to adamantly deny any of this other stuff. Like, if there's no raid coming, like just like, you know, we used to hear in the past, oh yeah, I could see survival happening in the Division 2. Survival was never happening in the Division 2. We were strung along, and I never appreciated that. And those were made by announcements where things were not denied. They just, you know, they were just kind of brushed aside. If there are certain things in this leak, let's say that the leak is true, if there are certain things in there that are absolutely not going to happen, then they need to go on a state of the game, and they need to say, that is not going to happen, that is not going to happen, that is not going to happen. This is what's going to happen, and this is as much information as we can give you, and at least give us maybe a roadmap, like we used to have in the past, a roadmap, a graphic. Hey, when can you expect these on these dates? Give us something concrete to go on. But for the meantime, as I look at this post, I'm going to take this, besides that last paragraph of, hey, this could be absolutely false. That's about the only thing that I'm going to put any faith in this right now. Stepping back as a fan, would I love to see all this? Hell yes. As a hardcore intensive Division content creator, I would love to see all this kind of stuff hit the game. But if I apply logic to this, we saw a heavy push into year 2. We saw Woney, we saw the raid, we saw manhunts and seasons, which kind of fizzled and fizzled and fizzled. We saw the summit, which I'm sorry is just not, I guess, what they wanted it to be. And then we received this post from the Division game stating that, yeah, it's over. And then all of a sudden we hear from Evgimo, oh, we've got content planned for 21 and 2022. And now this hits. Like, this seems just like an overabundance, an overindulgence of what we've been asking for. And I don't see this actually hitting, even if they do charge for it, if it's $20 or $30 or $40, I don't know if they're going to, if truly all of this is in year 3, I don't know if they're going to be able to attract enough people back, even at $20 a pop, $30 a pop, $40 a pop, to buy this DLC, if they're actually going to get their money back, considering all the man hours that you need to go in to make another Woney style content drop. So for me right now, I'm going to put a big red X on this and say, no, I'm not buying this. Would I love to see it? Yes. But for right now, no, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. Okay, this is probably an awesome place to end this video. And as always, I look forward to reading your feedback about the supposed year 3 DLC leak down in the comments section below. If you haven't yet done so, please smash that sub button for intensive Division content, and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss a future upload notification from my channel. If you would be so kind as to rate the video, I would greatly appreciate it. Links to support my content creation outside of YouTube include Patreon and Teespring, both in the video description below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter for all my latest thoughts on most things gaming related, and also follow me on Twitch for weekly Division streams. And as always, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing out.